Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever paused in the middle of life's busyness and quietly wondered, is this all there is? You chase success, you strive for peace, yet something still feels missing. Today, I invite you to lean in, not to hear more noise, but to uncover the deeper truth. There is a reality more powerful than your problems, more stable than your circumstances. It's not far from you. In fact, it's within reach. But it must be sought intentionally. If your soul has ever whispered, there must be more, then what you're truly seeking might just be a kingdom. Seeking the kingdom begins with a radical shift in priorities, an inner transformation, where the noise of the world fades and the voice of purpose becomes unmistakably clear. This pursuit doesn't start on the outside, it begins deep within. It calls for a pause, a moment of honest self-inventory. What am I truly chasing? What do I value most? What governs my decisions, my time, my energy? For many, life is consumed by the urgent, but not the important. People chase after things they were told would bring happiness, wealth, titles, recognition, only to discover that none of it satisfies the hunger of the soul. That's because what they truly seek isn't out there, it's within, waiting to be uncovered through the lens of kingdom vision. When one begins to seek the kingdom, priorities undergo a divine recalibration, external markers of success lose their grip, and inner alignment becomes the true compass. Peace is no longer defined by the absence of problems, but by the presence of purpose. Joy isn't found in circumstances, but in conviction. Influence is no longer about climbing ladders, but about lifting others. This kind of seeking changes how we love, how we lead, and how we live. We stop asking, what can I get? And begin asking, what was I sent to give? The pursuit of the kingdom redefines greatness, not as something to achieve, but as something to serve. It turns our daily routines into divine assignments, our careers into callings, our homes into places of peace, and our hearts into vessels of eternal influence. When someone truly begins to seek the kingdom, they're not running from life, they're running into life. Not the version the world sells, but the one their soul has always known was possible. The shift in priorities isn't about losing freedom. It's about finding it and realizing that in seeking the kingdom first, everything else doesn't just fall into place. It finds its rightful place. The kingdom is not stumbled upon like a coin in the dirt or a shortcut down a forgotten path. It is discovered by those who seek it, not casually, not occasionally, but with intention, hunger, and unwavering focus. It's not revealed to the indifferent, nor does it respond to random curiosity. The kingdom is a hidden treasure, yes, but not because it's trying to stay hidden. It's because it waits for those who value it enough to search. Wandering by nature is directionless. It's moving without aim, drifting wherever the wind of culture or circumstance blows. But the kingdom requires deliberate pursuit. It invites the seeker to rise above the fog of confusion and fix their eyes on something greater than self-gratification or survival. It demands questions deeper than what do I want, and calls for reflections like why am I here and what was I born to impact. This kind of pursuit is not a sprint, it's a lifestyle. It's getting up every day with a renewed decision to chase meaning, not just moments, to dig beneath the surface, to align choices with values, to lean into silence when the world is shouting. It's about replacing passive belief with active discovery. The kingdom reveals itself to those who knock with intention, ask with honesty, and seek with a relentless heart. It's not about chasing spiritual highs or waiting for mystical encounters. It's about choosing daily to walk a path that leads to clarity, truth, and deep fulfillment. The truth is, no one drifts into destiny. No one casually becomes purposeful. The kingdom does not accommodate the half-hearted or the distracted. It honors the focused, the surrendered, the watchful. It opens its doors to those who are not simply curious but committed. If you want to discover the kingdom, you can't afford to wander anymore. You must pursue it like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. To seek the kingdom is not just to search for a place or a power. It is to begin a journey of remembering who you truly are. It is a return not to where you were born, but to why you were born. So many walk through life defined by titles, jobs, relationships, achievements, yet still feel empty. That's because they're living from the outside in, letting the world shape their identity, instead of uncovering the one that was placed within them from the beginning. When you begin to seek the kingdom, you're not just chasing after spiritual truth, you're rediscovering your original design. You're peeling back the labels, the fears, the failures, and even the successes that have clouded your vision. You're confronting the lies you've believed about your worth and replacing them with truth that liberates. The kingdom doesn't call you based on your mistakes. It calls you based on your purpose. It doesn't ask, what have you done? But rather, do you know who you are? Because everything you do flows from your understanding of your identity. If you see yourself as insignificant, you'll act small. But when you begin to see yourself as royalty, not in arrogance, but in awareness, you begin to move differently. You speak with conviction. You love with depth. You lead with courage. The kingdom reveals that you were never meant to fit in. You were born to stand out. You weren't created to merely survive, but to steward influence and bring impact. Identity in the kingdom is not earned through performance, it's unveiled through connection to the source, to purpose, and to a greater reality than what the world offers. To seek the kingdom is to peel off the layers and reclaim the truth. You are designed with intention, crafted with greatness, and called to rule in your lane. The more you pursue the kingdom, the more clearly you see yourself, not as the world defines you, but as you were originally meant to be. And when you see yourself rightly, you begin to live rightly. You don't just find the kingdom, you begin to reflect it. The kingdom is not found in the clamor and chaos of the world. It's not in the constant hustle, the endless chatter, or the frantic pursuit of success. In fact, the louder life gets, the further away we drift from the kingdom's reality. The world's noise is designed to distract us from the deeper truths that reside within. It's a constant barrage of information, opinions, demands, and pressures that distort our perception of what truly matters. Yet the kingdom doesn't operate in this frenzy. It's not hidden in the busyness, nor does it dwell in the overwhelming urgency of modern life. The kingdom, in its purity, exists in stillness, in quiet moments of reflection and connection. It calls for alignment, a deep soul-level harmonization with a higher purpose, a greater vision, and an eternal truth. It's in the moments when we pause, silence our minds, and listen to the still small voice within that we begin to encounter the kingdom. It's in the quiet of our hearts that we discover the alignment of our identity with our Creator's purpose for us. In the quiet there is clarity. The distractions fall away and we begin to see ourselves for who we truly are. The constant noise of the world fades, and in that space, the true voice of purpose, direction, and peace can be heard. It's in these moments of stillness that we are reminded of our greater calling, and the true kingdom begins to unfold before us. It's not about striving harder or becoming more outwardly successful. It's about learning to quiet the inner storm, to align with the higher truth that has always been inside us. The kingdom isn't found in external achievements, it's found in internal alignment. When we cease the frantic searching and settle into a quiet confidence in our purpose, we begin to see life through the lens of the kingdom. Peace, direction, and purpose flood our hearts, not because we've chased them, but because we've aligned ourselves with them. To find the kingdom, you must quiet the noise, not just around you, but within you. It is in that sacred space of stillness and that moment of quiet alignment where the kingdom makes itself known. And in that silence, everything else falls into place. When you seek the kingdom first, everything else falls into alignment. It's a simple yet profound truth. When the primary pursuit of your life is the kingdom, everything else, your relationships, your work, your goals, your dreams, naturally finds its place within that framework. The reason for this is that the kingdom isn't just an abstract concept. It's a living, dynamic force that brings order, purpose, and clarity to every part of your life. Think of it like a compass. When you align yourself with true north, the direction of every step becomes clearer. You no longer have to chase after fragmented pieces of success or fulfillment, because the kingdom provides you with a holistic vision for your life. In seeking the kingdom, you discover your true purpose, and from that foundation, everything else flows. Your career choices, your friendships, your finances, they all find their proper place in light of your kingdom perspective. The world tells us to chase wealth, success, or status first, believing that these things would bring us happiness. But those who seek the kingdom first discover that when they focus on what is eternal, everything else begins to work itself out in ways they could never have imagined. The pursuit of the kingdom recalibrates your priorities. It shows you that true satisfaction doesn't come from external achievements, but from the alignment of your heart with a higher purpose. Seeking the kingdom first doesn't mean abandoning your dreams or aspirations. On the contrary, it gives them a higher purpose first. You pursue success, not just for personal gain, but to serve a greater good. You seek wealth, not to accumulate, but to be a steward of resources that can bless others. You build relationships, not just for companionship, but to create a community that reflects the values of the kingdom. In this way, the kingdom provides the blueprint for how to live fully, intentionally and purposefully. It doesn't just guide one aspect of your life, it influences every part, helping you to create harmony in areas that once felt chaotic or disconnected. So when you seek the kingdom first, you experience a life that is not only meaningful, but also filled with peace, direction, and fulfillment. Everything you've been searching for finds its proper place, because the kingdom reorders your priorities according to a higher vision. And in that vision, everything aligns with its true purpose. So seeking the kingdom of God is not just an abstract spiritual pursuit. It is the foundational key to unlocking true fulfillment, purpose, and peace in every area of life. It calls us to reorient our priorities, align our actions with a higher purpose, and view the world through a lens of divine perspective. When we choose to seek the kingdom first, we find clarity about our identity, direction for our journey, and a deeper sense of peace that transcends the chaos of the world around us. The kingdom doesn't just offer a temporary solution to life's struggles, it provides an eternal framework for living with purpose, impact, and eternal significance. It is not found in noise or striving, but in quiet alignment with a purpose greater than ourselves. And when we pursue the kingdom with intentionality and dedication, everything else, our dreams, relationships, and life's challenges, find their proper place. Let us continue to seek the kingdom, for in doing so, we not only find ourselves, but we also find a life that is full, rich, and profoundly transformed.